got a Valentine's present for all of America and the world that wants truth and to bring down the globalist death cult. Tonight, Pam Bondi released the other 3 million total Epstein files. Still some of the names are redacted, but Congress can go in and look at all of them themselves.
Oh my God, well that's amazing. What a gift, what a present, what a revelation from Pam Bondi and from Alex Jones over there. We've got all the documents now, except what are you talking about? What are you ever talking? What have you ever been talking about? No, we didn't get all of the files. And again, so that probably means something, Alex. I mean, you are so excited. In fact, to you, it seemed like, well, if they're finally releasing them, then I guess, oh, thank God, I can wipe all of this hog sweat off of me. I guess they weren't covering up anything, except that they didn't release all the rest of the files. So I kind of feel like we should be back in the position of thinking that they're probably covering something up. And man, you could see the weight off of his shoulder, or at least some of the weight off of his shoulders of thinking that now, okay, I don't have to cover up for this elite pedophilia, but no, you still do. And also, you still will. Now, not everybody on the right will, which is one of the things that increases the pressure on them, that there are some in MAGA who can actually criticize this cover up, even if many of them will stop their criticism right before it hits the Oval Office. Nancy Mace said, despite the memo released by DOJ last night, not all the Epstein files have been released, and the excuses provided for not releasing all the files will not hold up in court of law. This isn't going away until people go to jail. Nancy Mace is not going to sleep. She's not going to eat. She probably will drink, but she won't do those first two things until there is justice, damn it. And if she runs out of liquor, she'll send an aide to the corner store to get some more. But anyway, no, they have not released all of the files. In fact, there's some new evidence that they might have released even less than we thought. Supposedly, they've released about 2% of the total information, but we can't say exactly what that means because it seems like that's like a percentage of the data that they have. So they have 14.6 terabytes of archived data. Okay, so like theoretically, that doesn't mean that there's 100 billion more emails. That can be a lot of video, but that's a lot of video. I mean, even if it's video, even if that's 4K, even if that's ProRes, that's still a lot of video. And I don't know, I mean, the fact that we have seen none of it, if there's that much, there could be anything in there. But anyway, the criticisms continue now from Alex Jones, but Nancy Mace, Thomas Massie, who's been like the most out front about this, he had a new way of summing up what Trump is all about. Take a look.
That's what I'm up against in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump told us that even though he had dinner with these kinds of people in New York City and West Palm Beach, that he would be transparent, but he's not. He's still in with the Epstein class. This is the Epstein administration, and they're attacking me for trying to get these files released.
I think that that's great. I mean, you could choose one or the other. John Ossoff went with the Epstein class, Thomas Massie, the Epstein administration. Both have their appeal. I like the involvement of class, and there definitely is a class component to this. It's not like there were random, dudes making 30K showing up in these files. It's all elites from top to bottom. But I also kind of like the Epstein administration because we should remember it's not exactly rare for people in Trump's administration to appear in the files. Most people seem to have forgotten that Howard Lutnick literally brought his kids as takeout to Epstein Island, but I haven't forgotten. And Elon Musk, he's gonna try to muddy the waters and attack other people for being in the files, but he was doing everything he could to be in the files even more than he already was. So the administration kind of is the Epstein administration. So anyway, that's good. We've got that. Now, what did we actually get from Pam Bondi? So she did not release the rest of the files, but she did try once again to end this thing. That was like the tenor of her weekend message was, we're good. We've done everything, even though we haven't. And we've gotten justice, even though we didn't even try. And the Dow Jones, yes, is 50,000, I suppose. So maybe I should shut up about this. But what they did is they sent Congress a list of politically exposed persons. So that is like literally anyone who is named in the files that they didn't redact, their name is right here. And so we can show this to you. And so what they're doing here, they're putting all these names, and there's like Donald Trump is on there, Bill Clinton is on there. And so that they might make it seem as if, look, haven't we done our due diligence? We've given you this long list of names. But what they've really done is made it virtually impossible for anyone to know what any of it means, because being on that list could mean that you were best friends with Jeffrey Epstein for literally years, and there are specific tips in there that you sexually assaulted people, or it could just be a name that Jeffrey Epstein put in an email of someone who wasn't even alive when he named them, and there's no evidence that they even knew each other. And this is a conscious, deliberate strategy by Pam Bondi to obfuscate everything and to make it impossible for you to know who's actually culpable, because that's her goal. It is not to protect the victims. It is not to get the perpetrators. It's to make sure that nothing happens. Maintain the status quo, protect what I have seen referred to as a load-bearing elite pedophilia network. You can't mess with that. The whole thing will come down. And so that's what they're doing right now. Ro Khanna makes that very clear here, saying to have Janis Joplin, who died when Epstein was 17, in the same list as Larry Nassar, who went to prison for the sexual abuse of hundreds of young women and child pornography, with no clarification of how either was mentioned in the files, is absurd. Release the full files, stop protecting pedophiles, redact only the survivors' names. And to that, Pam Bondi says, no, no, no. She's just not going to do it. I'll end with this. Marjorie Greene, who again, I will remind you, has chosen to put herself in a position where she has no power over this anymore, did at least put out this statement saying, all of you MAGA influencers and the rest mocking the seriousness of women who are trafficked and raped as teenagers and young women look like cult fools. Good luck trying to get women to vote for Republicans in the midterms, you insensitive clowns. The Republican Party already has a woman voting problem. Keep mocking those of us who take rape and pedophilia seriously and demand accountability for corruption. Now, again, you could have demanded it as a representative. You chose not to do that, but I do like the message. I do like that you can point out that they look like cult fools. I would remind you that you looked like a cult fool for like 5 years. You groped a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump's crotch on stage. That video's out there. I'm not gonna play it again, but it's there, but good. You've at least now woken up. You are now woke, and you can identify the problems that you see. That's good.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.